Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining today's webinar on how to run virtual fundraising on CauseVox. In a few minutes, I'm going to dive into all things virtual and how you can build a virtual fundraising event on CauseVox. But before I get started, I want to go over a few housekeeping items. So throughout our conversation today, I'm going to be taking questions. So any questions that come up, feel free to chat them in. We have a chat box that will pop up, and we'd love to hear from you. For anyone who's doing virtual events for the first time, it would be really great, really interesting to hear from you and your organization about your potential virtual event, what it's about, and what you hope to get out of today's discussion. So please, again, feel free to chat in any questions, and we'll get those answered today during our Q&A at the end of the webinar, towards the end. The webinar is recorded, so don't feel like you have to take down all the notes. You can just listen in and replay the conversation later for yourself and your team as well. So again, thank you so much for taking the time out to learn about digital fundraising on CauseVox. I will be your speaker today. My name is Jenna Nota-Francesco. I'm the customer success advocate at CauseVox, and my role is to work with organizations to grow their digital fundraising through virtual events. And I've seen so many organizations be very successful meeting their event goals on CauseVox. So for today's discussion, we'll first dive into what CauseVox is, and then we'll take a look at digital fundraising as a whole with virtual fundraising in mind, and then we'll go through some examples of virtual event fundraising and how you can set up your virtual events on CauseVox. I'll also go over some pricing at the end. All of your pricing questions will be addressed. And so, yeah, let's dive into a little bit about CauseVox. So CauseVox is a digital fundraising platform designed to help you raise more with less effort. While other software is very clunky, complex, and contract bound and expensive, CauseVox helps you run your fundraising with less effort and tidies it up for you so you can run your donation pages, crowdfunding, peer-to-peer fundraising, virtual fundraising in less time with less hassle. One of the things that we solve for you at CauseVox is creating great donation forms. So we help you convert more donors with less clunkiness. CauseVox will replace any of the outdated donation forms or PayPal buttons on your website to help you convert more donors with a seamless giving experience that's optimized to help you get more donors. We also have crowdfunding, so you can quickly spin up campaigns, and they can be branded with the fundraising goal and thermometer and any social media integrations, back-end office automations that'll help your crowdfunding run with less hassle and reach your goals with less uncertainty. We have peer-to-peer fundraising so that you can create peer-to-peer fundraising campaigns to activate supporters to raise funds on your behalf, all while having a clutter-free experience so you can easily activate your supporters to raise more online. So let's just talk a little bit about what digital fundraising is. So digital fundraising as a whole, when we talk about running a virtual event, we need the infrastructure in place first. So you'll want to step back and consider what fundraising tools you're currently using and whether or not digital fundraising and peer-to-peer is part of it. So something that you want to keep in mind is that anything that's built on sturdy ground isn't secure. So you'll want to make sure that whatever solution you're using has the tools in place to help you convert more donors. So let's just take a look at quickly how infrastructure works at CauseVox. So at CauseVox, we help you convert more donors through the optimized donation forms. We took a look at some of the best practices on e-commerce sites and what helps people get more sales. And we integrated those best practices into our donation forms and our donation pages so that you get more donors easily converting them. So for example, we added Apple and Google Pay options so that people can make a one-click payment for their phone on their phones, or on your campaign, so they don't have to take out their credit card to make a donation. They can complete their payment with one click. And next, we have our campaigns, which includes, of course, crowdfunding campaigns, which you can easily spin up, branded initiatives. So whether you're doing an annual fundraising campaign or you have a need that popped up because of COVID, you just need to fund a program very quickly, we help you with those campaigns, but getting them in place so you can raise the funds that you need. And on top of the campaigns is our peer-to-peer fundraising. So you can build peer-to-peer fundraising into your campaign so that you can activate your supporters to raise funds on your behalf really easily by helping them create their own personal fundraising pages and helping them to reach out to their friends and family. So you're reaching people you wouldn't have reached otherwise with less marketing spend. On top of all of this is having those marketing best practices in place. You want to be communicating frequently with your audience, whether it's through email, social media, or more, to get people to your donation form, your campaigns, and your peer-to-peer pages so that you're activating those in your community and converting them. So we took a look at how the digital fundraising cycle works. And we built out this easy to understand cycle that we've seen work across countless customer stories. So when you invest in attracting more people into your audience and building your audience, whether it's making sure your search engine optimized so you get more web traffic, or whether it's investing in social media and digital ads, you want to be bringing more people into your audience so that you have more people to engage with. So through email campaigns and social media asks and nurturing them with storytelling, you get to know more about they get to know more about your organization. And from engaging with your audience, you want to convert them into donors and peer-to-peer fundraisers. The great thing about peer-to-peer fundraising is that it helps you attract more donors so that you have more people to nurture and convert. And in the end, your goal is to get more donors and activate more people into your existing audience to become peer-to-peer fundraisers to help you continually grow digital fundraising at your organization. So something that we've noticed that pre-COVID, of course, marketing and fundraising overlapped a bit, but since COVID, everything has been moved online. So that's why we're talking about a virtual fundraising event today. Everything's virtual. The role of the marketer and the role of the fundraiser are now converging at a much more rapid pace. So in order to be really effective when it comes to digital fundraising, you'll want to adopt all the digital marketing practices, and that's something to keep in mind as you roll out your virtual fundraising at your own nonprofit. So I also want to talk about what isn't working this year, again, why we're transitioning to virtual. So one of the things that keeps coming up is that in-person events are just not happening this year or in the foreseeable future, as we know, due to social distance requirements. They'll most likely be out for some time. And so the best way to replace that is to activate all the people who would normally come to your events and get them to fundraise on your behalf, taking the in-person event virtual with peer-to-peer. So some of the hesitations that we've heard is, transitioning to a virtual fundraising structure is, how am I going to do my auction? But we're actually advising that you skip the auction this year because of all the trends that we're seeing, everything that's happening. It doesn't make sense to take such a great time to invest with the effort and energy that it takes to plan auctions and make it successful, because you'll be against the odds this year. Most of the small businesses that will donate gifts and help you raise the funds at your event might not be able to give this year. So it might be a gift of lesser quality because some of the small businesses are pressed at the moment. Another thing to keep in mind is that a lot of auction items usually include trips or experiences, and those might be out at the moment as well. So unfortunately, those things will not be happening. So your auction will have less return on investment. Something else that's come up is the mention of text to give. So as weird as it sounds, it doesn't really work as well these days. So text to give was really designed for in-person events. So when you're thinking of running your virtual peer-to-peer campaign, we wouldn't recommend text to give because it gets a little clunky. You're sending an email or a post on social media and asking a person to take out their phone and then remember the number and then text in the short code to donate. And then they're only taken to another page in which they have to keep making their donation. So what we find is much easier is putting a link right to your peer-to-peer fundraising campaign. So your donors can click the link easily, open the page right from their phone or their desktop, and simply make a donation through a mobile optimized campaign site. So all of this leads to what we find is a higher return on investment. So with digital fundraising coming into play, you'll be saving a lot when it comes to putting on big events. So typically it'll take $50 to raise $100. On CauseVox, it takes roughly $3 to raise $100. So you're massively increasing your return on investment, especially when it comes to peer-to-peer, because you're activating people to reach out to their networks. So they're doing the marketing for you. So peer-to-peer has always been a strategy that we've encouraged over the last 10 years. We've seen so many campaigns be much more successful because of this. So that's why we're recommending transitioning into virtual fundraising. So as we look into virtual fundraising, what is it really? A virtual fundraiser is an online fundraising event. So instead of gathering together physically, your supporters are gathering online through the technology like live streaming, video, social media, and digital fundraising software to raise funds. And this is a rapidly growing trend that we see. It's really unlimited in terms of types of virtual fundraising events that you could do online. Here's a quick list. I'm sure it's not exhausted. Really anything that you can think of doing in person, I'm sure you could think of a creative way of putting virtually. And we're gonna dive closer into looking at some ungala and gala examples, as well as some walks, like a walkathon, for example. That's what we'll be focusing on today, but really any of these fundraising ideas are viable. So some advantages of virtual fundraising, again, are the lower event costs and higher return on investment, higher return on effort, of course, by really activating your key supporters to network and market for you. And also giving you a wider range of participants and supporters. We also like to think that given the economic climate, this idea of peer-to-peer fundraising for a virtual event is giving that alternate ask to somebody who might not have the funds to donate as they would have in the past to you, but instead they're able to now become a fundraiser. And so that one donation now is increased potentially if they're able to activate their own network to donate on your behalf. You'll be increasing the size of their donation really by them becoming a fundraiser. And then again, of course, less administrative tasks. We streamline all of the administrative process on CauseVox through our dashboard, and there's everything's much more centralized. So you'll be able to take home more funds with less effort. So here's one of those case study examples on the increased return on investment. So Summit Assistance Dogs, they run an annual luncheon, and this year they transitioned it virtually due to COVID, and so they were able to spend $50,000 less in event costs. So it increased their ROI by literally 8 times the amount that they would have normally, taken the funds that they would have received in their in-person event. And that's from all the event costs, from marketing to the meals to the the decor, everything that would go into an in-person event. And so actually I was thinking of perhaps diving into a couple more examples. I can actually show you the Unleash Your Love page right now. So I'm just gonna stop sharing my screen right now and give us a quick example. So here is Summit Assistance Dogs Unleash Your Love campaign. So as you can see, for look and feel, you might have seen this example in the past. Their media is implemented at the top. As you scroll down, our persistent donate button is available at any time. They really used they used the appeal section very well and talking about their organization and linking to their website. This organization actually pre-recorded their gala's presentation and provided a link right here for their May 7 event. And then they also embedded the pre-recorded live stream via YouTube, and that's shown right here on the YouTube link that can be played right on the page. They used this side as a section on the right for highlighting sponsors at certain giving levels. And so you see they were really able to customize a lot of their page and tailoring this peer-to-peer language from not only just peer-to-peers, but table captains. So effectively, every peer-to-peer page became a virtual table. So we thought that was a really creative way of utilizing peer-to-peer. So if I click on the Levitt family, you'll see that it maintains the same look and feel, and individuals can donate directly to the Levitt family table, or they can share the page across social media. Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and email. And so each fundraiser page has the ability to be customized and personalized to make those asks much more familiar. Recent donor walls just enhance our credibility. For example, if I know Sharon or if I know Franklin, I'm much more likely to give to an organization that my friends and my relatives are already donating to. So these are some of the key components of our fundraiser, our peer-to-peer fundraiser campaigns. Additional to that is the use of updates, which really format in the look and feel of a blog post, but they can be shared across social media as well to garner more support and to increase anticipation of the event or your progress and your aggregate goal. So with all of these components combined, Summit Assistance Dogs was able to really exceed their fundraising goal. If you're looking for something like a gala, but a little different, we have Girls Incorporated of Greater Capital Region. They did an ungala. They hosted an ungala, so just a little bit on the creative side. Encouraging individuals to donate to the cause, but also to stay home that night of their event. And so hosting parties in their home and raising funds in support of their programming, they really were able to help people engage digitally, to use hashtags on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and share their own home experience. So they also, as you can see here, they implemented a fundraiser toolkit, which I'll get into a little bit later. And then they also highlighted some sponsor information and promotions, also listing sponsor logos at the side. And then we can see their participant section of peer-to-peer. They also utilized updates. So they did a really great job here as well. This is just an example of a fun ungala. So if we move on to something a little more like a walkathon or a 5K or any sort of virtual walk, Arizona Friends of Foster Children Foundation was very successful. They, as you can see, they greatly exceeded their goal. They were able to tie the donation to impact by creating an impact metric. So identifying, quantifying how many youth were able to receive service within the 20,000 that was raised. So again, their appeal is here, describing the nature of the walk, what is a virtual walk, how they can participate. They used our feature of registration for peer-to-peer fundraisers. So their peer-to-peer fundraisers that were walking also registered at $35 and then opened a peer-to-peer personal fundraiser page at the bottom. And then they, of course, received their t-shirt, which is something that organizations can do, of course, and any sort of prize incentives are a nice touch as well. They personalized this page with the faces of the Youth Advisory Board and personal quotes from Ryan, who is the Keys to Success Youth Advisory Board, one of the members, saying this program has helped me get my own apartment and find a job that has led to more opportunities. So as you could see, showing such a huge impact that their organization has made on so many students. And again, their leaderboard at the bottom and some updates as well. And then lastly, I have another walk example. Again, these are socially distanced walks, walks, I'm sorry. And so, you know, I'm sure that they could either be done in a small group, but generally speaking, socially distanced. So Climb Out of Darkness is their annual walk to raise awareness for postpartum depression and all their work in postpartum support. And so I really do always like their use of graphics here to quantify all of the moms who have been, you know, helped, and the training that they provide. And so again, the climb stats are provided on the side. And then their participants below. On CauseVox, we actually do have the ability to integrate with Strava now. So Strava allows individuals to track their the distance that they've either walked or run. So if your participants, if you're ever trying to do a walk or a run, if your participants are connected with Strava, we would be able to embed a little widget, and it would post the individual's personal walk distance and time. So that's just another new product update that we've incorporated into our features here, just to make things a little bit more personal and fun. So with that, I just want to take a look to see how many questions are coming in, if any. It looks like a few questions have come in, which I'll be able to address. So before we get going, moving on, I thought maybe it would be great to just explore what it would look like to create a campaign on CauseVox. So say you're ready to run your virtual event and you wanted to get it up and running on CauseVox, you would go into your account, create new, virtual fundraising. Today, maybe I'll just do virtual climb. And so then you'll see that we have the campaign title. I can remove these numbers at the bottom of my campaign URL. I'm gonna actually set a target amount of $10,000. And then I'm not gonna enable the option for the end date, but you could also do that. Save and continue. And so now it takes me to the design section. So let's say I want to put in, let's say I'm Casa Congo for today. And I want to refresh that to show the logo better. And I'll change the header background to white. And we do recommend that you do use your hex colors to maintain branding. I'll also change my stats background to white. Okay, great. Maybe I'll put a new image for the walk. And so I'm just going to refresh the page. Open. Might not be the right file size. So you're able to, but you are able to upload images. Just be sure that they're the right file size. And then at the bottom here, you have the ability to change your text. There you go. It's loaded now. And then you have the ability to change your text here. You can import those images that you have or media that's hosted on YouTube or Vimeo. You can just copy the URL here. And so sample heading titles, that can be changed in the content heading color. For example, if I wanted a red content heading color, that can be changed that way. And any text can become a header by simply selecting the header option from the text bar. Great. So now my headers are red. So that just gives you an idea of how quickly and easily you can begin to customize your own campaign page. And again, embedding is pretty easy. And of course, we are here and available for you if you have any questions about embeds or specifically manipulating the look and feel of your page. Great, so I'm going to save and continue. Save and continue again. This is just some information about connecting to Stripe, which we do recommend, and donation tipping options, of course, which we can get into for pricing. And so now I've gone through the entire setup wizard. So now I have access to all of my settings. And I do just want to point out the idea of within the payment processing section, Stripe does give you the ability to have a different currency. So currencies will be campaign specific, donation and campaign page specific. So you can, you can have multiple campaigns, and if you want one to be for Canadian dollars or one to be for Australian dollars, you can assign it per campaign. In terms of display options, again, you can pre-select the end date, the impact metric, and then very importantly, our social sharing feature. So you'll want to upload an image that's compelling, and that will be used across the board when you share your campaign link across your social media outlets. Other important features that I want to point out are the donation page settings. So again, our settings are really easily manipulated with a simple toggle button on and off. When it's orange, it's on. That means those settings are turned on. So I'm going to allow donations to come in. I'm going to allow people to see, subscribe to my organization. I'm going to actually check it off by default. I do want to receive recurring donations, so I'm going to leave these turned on as well. And so you can select it by default so that the recurring donation shows by default. If you want to optimize by recurring donations, it does extend the lifetime value of the donor and will allow for more consistent, assured donations coming in every month. If you want to simply an only recurring donation campaign, you can make only recurring donations available to the donor, but I'm going to turn that off for now. And then the tiers, the customizable tiers, are really critical to your virtual event, because you're able to, with descriptions, you're able to really put an impact description to each tier. You're also able to just going to say thank you. You're also able to move these donation tiers up and down as needed. So say, you know, your premier level, you know, you want that one listed first, even though numerically speaking, it's not in the same order. You're welcome to do that. Again, I have recurring donations, so I'm going to maybe make these a little smaller to optimize for those monthly gifts. So 10, 20, maybe $30. We do recommend anywhere between 3 to 6 donation tiers, not too little, not too many, to help your donors get through the form faster. And so I'm going to save that later. And then our tipping option right now, we do have the 0% CauseVox fee. So I'm going to enable that so that I don't have any platform fees removed from my donations. Otherwise, if you didn't like the language of tipping to CauseVox, you could turn on the donation tipping to help you by giving donors the option to cover any of the platform fees that are incurred, which I'll go over more during our pricing discussion. And so that's turned on. Turning on this 0% will override any donation tipping option below it, just as a quick note. Postal information I don't need to gather. Post donation text. This is the success screen that your donors will see after they've made the donation. And then very importantly is our donation receipt. Our automated donation receipt is customizable. It gets sent out to each person who makes a donation upon them making their donation. So you'll want to be sure that this section is up to tax deductible standards if you're able to. I think mainly that's really just a matter of including your organization contact information above the transaction info. You are able to add images as needed if you wanted to customize this a little more. We do have email branding options available on certain plans, which allows you to add a logo to the top of the email and an accent line. And then the BCC, so if I wanted to include myself, type CauseVox.com. So that means that every time an automated donation receipt is sent, my email will receive the receipt as well for my records. So I'm going to save these settings that I've just created. And great. And so another quick point of note that I want to share is the peer-to-peer function, because this will be great when you're doing those virtual events and you want people to join as a personal fundraiser. We make it really easy for you on the back end by allowing you to default a lot of the information that the fundraiser will see. So that is from the icon, the little profile image that they have. You can actually upload your own photo for them first, and maybe it's a logo, for example, and they can change it later. Again, the recommended goal. So you want to say like $1,000, $100, whatever you'd like. The default appeal. So this is the section of their own page that you can, you can provide some information maybe from your main campaign appeal so that they have something to get started and not have a blank screen. It's not so daunting. And same for the team fundraising pages. Again, that icon, the logo, the page appeal, and then very importantly is the welcome email to your fundraisers. So this is a great time, a great place to put all that information about the time of the event, any event details, any details that they need to know while they're home participating. You can link out resources in this section. One of the resources we do recommend linking to is a toolkit for your fundraisers to set them up for success, which I will just briefly go over in a little bit. And so really you're providing all of the tools that they need to be successful. And so that is there for you in the welcome email that's automatically sent out. I'll save and continue. Now, peer-to-peer registration is also available to you. So if you're doing an event and you want to charge a registration fee for your fundraisers, you can do that here by enabling peer-to-peer registrations. And if you want to add the registration charges to your fundraising goal total, you can turn that on as well. And then your tiers here are available. So say I want to charge $20 for the walk. and it's general admission. So you can do that here. Depending on the plan, we do have, our Plus plan allows you to have multiple tiers of registration. So if you have different groups of people that would need to register at a different rate, you're able to add a different tier, multiple tiers rather. And then each peer-to-peer registrant will get their own registration confirmation. So again, customizable and automatically sent so that you can keep that for your records as well. And I'm going to save this. And one more piece that might be great for any events that you're hosting online. You can add custom donation fields to the form. So say you're asking, say it's a walk in memory of certain children, or you're giving you have a product that you'd like to give to somebody. Say I'm making sun catchers for the event, and you want to know the sun catcher message that's going to be on that donor's sun catcher that's given. So you can say sun catcher message. It's going to be a text line response, and I'll say, tell us what you like as your message. So that's the help text that's presented. You can either require these fields or not. And so I'm just going to say done. You could also, if it's a walk or something, you could say what are the names of participants. So you could do a text line here for that as well. If you have multiple, you can add a group, a repeating group. So that would be probably better for participants. What are the participants' names? Finish that. So I'll change this one to how many participants. And so if I save all this information, we'll take a look to see what it looks like on the front end. So here's our demo site. And I'm going to donate to the cause. And so here you see the tiers we have. Oh, actually, I was actually doing this on this account. Sorry about that. Oh, sorry, I actually forgot. I would need to set up donation processing further, but basically this would show up on the front end here, sort of like this donation form as well. So you can easily just spin up that content. And so we'll just save this information and launch the campaign. Now I think I'll be able to see it, perhaps. So here's the monthly and one-time recurring gifts that I set up. It gives the option to find the fundraiser that we want it associated with. And then here's my custom field questions that I asked. We'll say 3 or 2, and then Sarah Johnson, Mike Jones. So you're able to just add those custom fields as well. And the same way that you add custom fields to the donation form, you can also add them to the fundraiser sign up. So that can be any information about, you know, like t-shirt size, as we were mentioning, anything like that is available. So great. So I just want to see if this will come through for us here. Now you'll see the design that I set up earlier. You just want to publish that first before you have the ability to see it on the front end. So here's a quick look at my virtual climb so far. So you can see it's really a plug and play, and you're able to quickly set up everything you need in almost no time flat. So with that, I just want to come back to more of our PowerPoint presentation and give us some more information about other benefits from using virtual fundraising on CauseVox. So we do supply templates to help you achieve your goals through virtual fundraising. So one of those is our planning guide and calendar. So we will be providing the link to download this template within the chat. So be sure to do that. But you'll see here, we give you basically templates to organize your budget and expenses, to project your estimated costs and revenue. We give you, suggestions of what sections to include in your planning, such as, table of contents, the mission and description, as you see here, instructions to creating the fundraising page, stories for the fundraisers, everything that you'll need to organize your campaign. And then also this sort of templated presentation of just, defining the event and clarifying who the attendees are, and the solution, the costs, color scheme, again, everything you need, description for the website, the marketing, and then your calendar for how to actually execute all of these details. So due dates and completed dates, and just helping you to stay on task. And then, of course, your agenda for the night or the day of the event. So these are just some of the things that are included in our template that are, they're customizable. If you download this virtual fundraising event planning guide and calendar template, you will be able to, save a copy on your computer because it is a shared document. So you'll want to save it on your computer first, and then you'll be able to edit that for your own organization's needs. So another point that I mentioned earlier is that so the toolkit that I've been mentioning, this is just a few pages of an example of Summit Assistance Dogs toolkit to their fundraisers. Again, so this is a document that would be created to help set your fundraisers up for success. So that includes everything about just defining the role of the fundraiser. As you see here, they put together some text for just explaining the event and the role, and instructions, as well as templated correspondence for those fundraisers to use when they're communicating with their networks. So you can see that Summit Assistance Dogs was very thorough in all of the information that they put there. So you can find the links to both the fundraiser toolkit as well as the planning guide in the chat. And so again, just quickly going over what works for virtual fundraising. Easy 60-second peer-to-peer page creation. As you saw, I was able to put the page together relatively quickly. The fundraiser registration fees and tiers, our integration with Strava that's available, as well as our customized donation tiers that you can really tailor to the needs of your event. Mobile payments with Apple and Google Pay, as well as the tailored campaign sites. We do have an ultimate virtual fundraising course on demand now. It actually took place at the end of June, and it's available on demand. And so it'll help you assess the gaps in revenue, walk through new virtual fundraising trends, explore the intersection of digital marketing and fundraising best practices, as well as ensure that you will be set up for a very successful event moving forward. So Candace is also going to provide the link to purchase that course as well. So you'll want to take a look in the chat for all of these links to help you get started with your virtual fundraising event. So earlier I mentioned that there are 0% fees on CauseVox right now, which is 100% true. So normally we have platform fees associated per donation, but we have eliminated those fees because of how this time is just very challenging for organizations, and we want as many organizations to be able to put up a virtual fundraising campaign on a limited budget. So those are taken out so that you can run your virtual fundraisers with no CauseVox platform fees by giving donors the option to tip CauseVox during the donation. So if you have any questions regarding our no platform fee feature right now, you can email us at support@causevox.com. And so I'm sure Candace will provide our support link to you as well. So basically, yeah, you can also fundraise for free on CauseVox through our basic plan. It's available for free, no monthly fee associated as well. So you can get started at no cost whatsoever. If you want to get started with sign up, you can go to our sign up link, admin.causevox.com/signup to get started on CauseVox at no cost. And that link will also be provided in the chat. So again, before we get to our Q&A, as a reminder that CauseVox is really set up with you in mind to help you raise more with less effort. While typical fundraising software is clunky and complex and contract bound, we are here to tidy up all of your digital fundraising so that you can run your crowdfunding, peer-to-peer, and of course, virtual fundraising events in less time without the hassle. And so with that, I want to be able to answer some questions. So I'm just going to take a quick look here. So some of the questions I've received, one is, are the graphics on the page produced by our team or yours? So I think that I think you're referring to the graphics that I imported in my demo account, like the campaign page. So those are they would be produced by your team. Those are your personal media that can be incorporated on your own campaign page. If that wasn't exactly what you were referring to, you can of course re-chat that question. So right now, is there a way to integrate other activity apps other than Strava? So right now we have Strava, but that list could potentially be growing as we move into this virtual event space more and more. We're seeing that we're able to, increase our capacity for integration. So that could potentially change in the future, but right now we have Strava, and also, again, any media that you want incorporated, usually as long as it's hosted online, is able to be embedded and produced on your campaign site. From Mary, Mary asks, can you run a virtual walk campaign on the basic CauseVox plan? Yes, you can. You can easily run unlimited campaigns and donation pages on the basic plan. There are just some limitations that you'll be able to see on our pricing page if you need to know. Basically, you can run the campaign. You just wouldn't have access to donation data downloads, but you would still have the same functionality of having a donation form and customizing the page and having personal fundraiser pages available to you. So that would absolutely be possible. I'm trying to see if we have any more questions. Thank you so much for sending these in, everyone. So one woman wanted to know, how does it connect to the organization's bank account for donation tiers? Can there be a custom option other than 10, 20, 30 or other? So in terms of connecting to the organization's bank account, basically what you would do is you would create a Stripe account, and you would then connect that Stripe account to our CauseVox account. And what would happen is that donations would be automatically deposited into your account on a 2-day rolling basis. There's a 7-day processing period from the time of the first donation, but after that 7 days, donations will be automatically deposited into your bank account on a 2-day rolling basis. And for donation tiers, the other option, so 10, 20, 30, and other, so that other option is automatically provided to you by CauseVox. So that other option will automatically be available on the donation form. I'm just going to take a quick look, see if I see any more questions that I need to address.
Hi, Jenna. I just wanted to jump in here to help with some questions. Hey, everyone. I know I'm just jumping in. This is Candace, who's on the team here at CauseVox as well. Jenna, I just saw a new question come in. So from Leslie, who asked, can you clarify, do you have to buy the light plan in order to be able to download data and upload it to the CRM?
Oh, yeah. So we are able to, so CauseVox has our own light CRM available on the back end. So in order to access donor data, you would need to at least purchase the light plan or above to download the data from the CRM system. If you are using a separate CRM, then you would need to be on the standard plan to be able to push that data directly into your own separate CRM application. So I don't know if that answered that question, Leslie.
And then Jenna, yeah, I think what would be great is if you can just show the pricing page for a minute and just go over a little bit of what's included on the basic versus the standard plan. I saw Louise's question come in about, the different pricing levels, and then the question about if we're planning on changing the pricing. So we're securing the 0% platform fee option through the end of 2020. So that's guaranteed to be available through then. It's still sort of in a beta right now. So after that, I think we're going to be reassessing and seeing if this pricing model works for both our customers and for us as well. And so we'll probably be extending it through early to mid 2021, but that's something that's to be determined, but definitely 0% platform fees through the end of the year.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, so here's our pricing page for those who wanted to know more about the differences between the basic, the standard, and the plus. One question, can we archive our fundraising pages in some way? What happens when the page subscription ends? So basically on our standard plan and above, you can archive fundraiser pages, like campaign sites, I should say. And then there's really no, you can decide when you want the campaign site to stop being live, published online live. So you can always disable the page and it won't show. So the only time that donations won't be able to come in is if, of course, if you disable the page or if you suspend your account with CauseVox. Great. Trying to think if there are any more, or Candace, if you see any other questions that we should cover.
Yeah, Louise just chatted in again. Can you reuse a campaign as a template for the following year's campaign?
Oh, hi, Louise. Yeah, absolutely. So again, you're able to clone campaigns on our standard plan and above. So you can easily whip up a new campaign for the following year, keeping those, retaining most of the information that you need and just editing, whatever slight differences there are for the following year. Yep, you can easily clone a campaign.
Awesome.
Great. This is
yeah.
great. Oh,
can you clone using the 0% pricing option? So, yes. So using the 0% pricing option that doesn't prohibit you from cloning. It's just the standard plan and above. you get to begin cloning those campaigns. What's great about cloning is like once you have the first campaign set up, you know, just literally with the click of a button, you get a whole new campaign with all the same design, all the same settings that you can just make a few tweaks to and get running again the next year. So really easy to spin up new campaigns using the cloning feature, even with the 0% platform fee. It's just not included on the basic plan. So the basic plan is that $0 a month and 0% platform fee. It's just any of our paid plans, like the standard plan and above, which is $185 month a month, or if you go annual, it's $16.74 for the year. That's billed up front, which averages down to $139 a month, which is great if you're doing multiple virtual fundraisers or looking to really expand your digital fundraising overall over the course of the year. And then, yeah, so I see another question came in. Can we disable and re-enable pages multiple times?
Yep, absolutely. You can disable and edit and then re-enable the pages as well, as many times as you'd like.
Awesome. Yeah, so yeah, completely up to you how many times you disable, re-enable, always there for you to play around with as far as that goes. So we don't lock you into anything either way.
Awesome.
All right. So we do have archive options as well. So if you're done with the campaign, you can archive it. Just removes it from the view. It takes it offline so people can't get to it any longer. If you wanted to kind of keep the page up and going as well, you can just turn off donations. And that way people can still access the campaign to see maybe like last year's virtual event, for example, but they won't be able to contribute or sign up for a personal fundraising page. So that's always an option too, is just turning off donations.
Awesome. Okay, great. If there aren't any other questions, then I guess we can, yeah, we can just, you'll be sure to, you know, have this available if you need it again. The recording will be available. I think Candace will be sending it out. And so great. Well, thank you again so much for participating in our quick virtual event tutorial today. And again, if you have any questions, please email us at support@causevox.com and we'll be happy to answer all those. So thanks again and have a great day.
Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye.